It's the final home game of the season for Cal Poly women's volleyball as they look to cap off a perfect home record in the 2025 season. They are currently 14-0, looking for that 15th win. It would be the 4th time in program history they've gone undefeated at home. Welcome to Mustang GameDay, Mustang News' very own pregame show. We're going to have live interviews with head coach Caroline Walters and many more players coming up for you. My name is Dylan Allen. Alongside me is Samantha Roach. And we have a packed show for you today as we take you through all the key storylines ahead of the Cal Poly women's volleyball game against Hawaii, set for 6 p.m.
Yeah, so looking at the conference so far for Cal Poly, their first game was a loss against the University of Minnesota, who was ranked at the time, but that did not remotely foreshadow the season ahead. They have an overall record of 21-6 and a Big West record of 12-3. They put themselves on the national radar on September 19th after sweeping the University of Utah, who was ranked 20th at the time. After a demanding sweep of the Utes, the Mustangs received votes in the weekly ACVA rankings for the first time since 2019. Starting conference play, they swept both CSU Northridge and CSU Bakersfield at home. However, their first road games resulted in unfortunate losses to UC San Diego and CSU Long Beach. However, after those losses, the Mustangs have not looked back since, as they have claimed a victory in almost every match since then. Recently, they had their revenge weekend where they beat UC San Diego and CSU Long Beach, which were the only 2 losses on their records. And beating Long Beach secured the Mustangs a spot in the Big West Championship and also allowed them to claim the 2nd spot in the Big West Conference. Another pivotal win for the Mustangs this season was tarnishing UC Davis's clean record. They were currently on a 10-game winning streak before Santa Barbara snapped it on Thursday night at UC Santa Barbara. However, they are on an over a year-long home winning streak of 18 games dating back to October 26th of 2024. They are looking to secure their 19th straight home win since last season in today's matchup against Hawaii. And this conference, they've kind of been holding the top of the totem pole. So let's kind of take a look at who they're up against this season. Yeah, well, it's been, they captured the regular season title last year in 2024. This year, they've been trailing UC Davis the entire season. They did get that win on October 25th. It was a 3-1 win over UC Davis, which was the first loss for the Aggies of the season. You take a look at the conference standings. Cal Poly currently in 2nd place in the Big West, trailing UC Davis after they just lost last night to Long Beach State. So still a lot of potential movement for these conference standings. UC Davis has been up at that #1 spot the entire season, and Cal Poly has been trailing them. It looked like they were going to be there was going to be no way for the Mustangs to catch them, but with the Aggies losing last night to Long Beach State, there's a chance for them to get the 1 seed. But the first 2 seeds in the regular season will get a bye come playoff time. And that bye would be pivotal for the Mustangs, as they have been go, go, go since the start of the season. And giving them that bye would allow them to kind of take the break that they need, but they would still have to, unfortunately, face UC Davis and hope that, if they want to claim that 1st seed, we need Davis to kind of take a loss against Fullerton or Bakersfield, like we were saying. Yeah, well, Davis is going to be matching up against some of the bottom teams in the conference with their last 3 remaining matches. Meanwhile, Cal Poly gets Hawaii tonight, who is currently in 6th place in the conference. And then following that out, they'll hit the road. But the matchup tonight, Sam, against Hawaii, the 6th seed in the conference, what's Cal Poly got to do to come in at their home court of Mott Athletics Center and finish the season strong? This game is kind of a pivotal one for Cal Poly because they have a history of being rivals with Hawaii. And in the last 27 matches that we've had against Hawaii, we've only won 7 of them. And last season, Hawaii took our championship win and they beat us in a 3-1 set. So the Mustangs are kind of looking for their revenge this season. Hawaii's record is 7-8 right now, so the Mustangs are favored, but Cal Poly's going to have to come on. They're going to have to serve strong, and they're going to have to Hawaii has some of the best hitters in the Big West right now, so they're going to kind of have to get that defense on and be ready to play hard tonight. Well, it was a bit of a revenge game that occurred on October 10th.
Cal Poly traveled out to Hawaii. They beat Hawaii they swept Hawaii for the first time ever on their home court. That has never been done before in volleyball program history. It was a 3-0 clean sweep. Now they'll bring in Hawaii tonight, looking to do the same. And this would be a big win for Cal Poly as they continue to trail UC Davis in those conference standings. But Cal Poly, you mentioned Hawaii's big hitters. Cal Poly has a lot of big hitters. We'll be talking to a few more as the show continues, and an interview with head coach Caroline Walters coming up shortly. Stick with us for a lot more to come.
Emma, did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
There I was, 16, divorced, remarried with a baby, another on the way, and I could barely read or write. Getting my high school diploma was a catalyst I needed. Now I have a bachelor's, a master's, and I became a teacher. When I look at all these success stories, I could not help but think it all started by getting my high school diploma.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
There are a lot of words I would use to describe my daughter. Kind, strong, hilarious. When I think about how much she's experienced in her life, we can't help but be inspired by her every day. So really, we are the lucky ones. Learn more at adoptuskids.org.
Welcome back to Mustang GameDay as we get you ready for Cal Poly Women's Volleyball against Hawaii at 6 p.m. We're going to be breaking down some interviews, getting live interviews with all the players and head coach Caroline Walters coming up shortly. But before we get into that, Cal Poly is on a 14-game home winning streak this season.
Yeah, Cal Poly has had a clean record this home season that dates back to last season. And Mustang News reporter Amory Gill actually had the opportunity to talk to the team about their home record. So let's take a look at that.
It's been over a year since any team has defeated Cal Poly Women's Volleyball at their home court of Mott Athletic Center. And this season, the Mustangs are determined to make it stay that way. Cal Poly holds the nation's second longest home win streak with 18 consecutive victories, dating all the way back to the 2024 season. Many of the players and head coach Caroline Walters attribute the success to a term that's been around for years, Mott Magic.
It is a thing. It is there in the back, but you have to earn it. You have to give it its respect too. Like, we have to go create plays. We have to create that energy to get it back, and you will get it back tenfold. But it doesn't just happen by us walking out there. Like, we have to create some of that magic and some of that energy through the way that we play, the way that we celebrate.
Even though it's currently the second longest home win streak in the nation, it is not Cal Poly's longest at their home court. Over the 2017, 2018, and 2019 seasons, the Mustangs had a 3-year unbeaten streak at home, with the official record sitting at 32 home wins in a row. The streak began on November 11, 2016, and technically spanned all the way into September of 2021, as Cal Poly lost their first home game of the season after their COVID year. Turning attention to their current streak, the Mustangs lost at home on October 26, 2024 in a 3-1 loss against UC San Diego. After that defeat, they began their current streak with 4 wins at the end of the 2024 season. Fast forward to 2025, and the Mustangs still have a perfect 14-0 record at home this year with only 3 more matches remaining. This year-long streak was officially secured on October 25th when the Mustangs defeated UC Davis 3-1. The win not only handed the 9-0 Aggies their first loss in the Big West Conference play this year, but marked a full calendar year of no home losses for Cal Poly. The success the team has sustained on their home course is not just about the talent, but instead about the connections and bonds they have created behind the scenes.
We talk a lot about our connection, both with our players on the court, with our bench, with the interactions between coaches, players, bench. So, yeah, they know that it's there and that it'll give us that little bit of oomph, but that we have to really, we have to give it a lot too.
Senior Emmy Bolas has been a part of Mott Magic since her freshman year in 2021, but tries not to put too much focus on it.
I don't know. Mott Magic is real, I guess. I don't know, that's the only thing I can say. Like, it's so cool to be able to play at home, but we just take it game by game and go out and play our hardest.
Besides Bullis, the team consists of a mix of seasoned veterans and rising underclassmen that makes the team what it is today. The Mustangs have found their rhythm and are determined to keep their momentum through long rallies and pressure.
And so I think that is just like the biggest thing right now is everyone really has like their eye on what we want from the season, what we want as a program. And so I think it's all just clicking at the right time.
Behind every win, there's the Mustang band that keeps the court alive with the energy that drives the team.
I get a little bit like emotional when the band walks in. I'm like, oh my gosh, like they like love being here. The band director, I always go up and give him a hug. Like it's so cool to be able to have them there.
Walters has been a head coach of Cal Poly for 6 years, but has been coaching at the Division I level for 17 years. She says no band around the country compares to the one that plays every match for Cal Poly volleyball.
The band, I mean, we play everywhere, right? Not only in Big West, but in preseason we get to go play in some Power 4 schools. There's no band like that anywhere. Like, honestly, like we are so lucky to have that support and the student body. And when that place is loud and when it is filled, people don't want to come play here, and they don't want to come play here with this winning streak on the line.
But also just like the support that we get from our community members and like our families, like you guys see it, like our family members are up there like screaming for us every opportunity they can get. But also like we just have made so many connections throughout the SLO community. Like just like the personal bonds that we've had with them has been like really, really cool.
With the roar from the crowd and the echoed rhythm from the band, the permanent atmosphere in Mott has become the sixth player on the court. With 3 matches remaining before the postseason, the Mustangs sit 1 game behind UC Davis for the Big West lead.
Mott Magic, you know, I've been here a long time, and thankfully we've been able to rely on that word a lot during those 17 years. I mean, we've had a few really good long stretches of winning matches, and we're excited to be in one of those right now. So, you know, it's hard work of our kids. They love playing at home. They feel supported by this community. So it's just this perfect blend of all of those factors.
As the Mustangs conclude the 2025 season, they are not only protecting a perfect home record, but defending a tradition of teamwork, pride, and the community that stretches far beyond the court.
After looking at that, it's hard to say that magic is not real when the Mustangs have seen Mott Magic working overtime for them this whole entire season. And it's just amazing to hear how Caroline and the players kind of feel that magic throughout the entirety of the season. And after this break, we're going to hear more from Coach Walters live with Grace Nishiam, Mustang News reporter, on site at the game.
Mom was always organized, but she started forgetting to pay her bills on time.
And she'd buy the same gifts over and over.
Telling the girls about my Alzheimer's diagnosis was really hard.
At first we had our cries, but then we were like, okay, let's make a plan.
Early detection gave us time to adapt together.
It's so important for you to think about what you can do and making the most of what you have.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
It's Friday night y estamos activos. Head out early. Drinks flowing till 11 p.m. It's gonna be lit.
No sé qué pasó. I didn't even drink that much.
Welcome back to Mustang Game Day. We have a live interview with head coach Caroline Walters. It's Grace Nishiam at sideline at Mott Athletic Center just before. We're about an hour and 15 away from the first touch, 6 p.m. with Hawaii. But check it out. It's Caroline Walters live from Mott Athletic Center.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with head coach Caroline Walters. So, How are you feeling about tonight's game?
We're excited. There's a lot of excitement in the air. Obviously, tonight's Hawaii. It's the last time that we're going to play them as they leave the conference. It's after this year, and there's just a rich history of some really, really good battles back and forth. So there's Hawaii on the line. Obviously, we're playing for to into the postseason. So to get that bye for the Big West would be amazing. So for us as well. And then on top of that, it's senior night. So saying goodbye to 4 players that have been with us for some 4 years, some 5, some 6. So they've been around a long time. So a big 4-week night full of emotions.
Seriously, yeah. And how are you feeling about the season overall?
I mean, I was thinking about it last night. We're 21 in South, I think, right now, and a few seasons in a row, 21 year of winning 20 games, and that's a pretty incredible achievement for a few seasons of consistency within our teams, and that's a pretty incredible achievement. You see that, but we won the Big West regular season last year. We didn't win the tournament. We had some injuries late down the regular season, and hopefully we didn't script this year. We'll be okay winning the regular season, but really pushing for the Big West tournament win. Okay, so trying to put headed into that last weekend of November tournament win.
Awesome, yeah. And can you touch on the rise of the young talent on the team?
That's incredible. I mean, we've had some really young kids step up in big roles, and I think most notably is Charlotte Kelly. She's a true freshman from the Billings area. One wonderful middle blocker that was an offensive player last year in Brooklyn Bowling, and unfortunately, a few weeks before the season started, she tore her ACL. So you go in with the uncertainty of not having a player and we'll get roster, and you're a little worried as a head coach, and knowing how that freshman is going to transfer, especially at this level. And she's done unbelievable transfer. Sharp in the middle, Kendall Bashir is another young kid for us that she rips, her jump spins, she's hitting the ball really hard, and young brings a lot of fire and bunk, and that whole sophomore class in the blue luge, if her yet, we've got a lot of young kids playing some really good volleyball.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. That's all for me. Back to you guys. Okay.
Thanks, Grace, and thank you to Coach Caroline Walters, as we just got to hear from her ahead of the 6 p.m. match with Hawaii. It's been quite the season for the Mustangs. We know they lost on Thursday against UC Santa Barbara, but they've had some fantastic wins, notably at the start of the season against a ranked team in number 20 Utah that came into Mott Athletic Center as part of the 2 tournaments that they hosted at the beginning of the season. And then looking a little bit at that Santa Barbara game, it was a 5-set thriller. I mean, we saw Emma Frederick register 21 kills. She's one of the premier hitters, not only on this team, but in the Big West. And then we saw Emmy Bullis, as well, the redshirt senior setter, register a career high in assists.
Yeah, I had the chance to talk to Emmy, and she kind of just explained that game, even though there were all these assists, she says a lot of the players say, the accolades aren't what we think about. We're thinking about our gameplay. So it's inspiring to see how a lot of the times the players aren't keeping track of their stats. They aren't keeping track of any of that. They are just worrying about what is happening on the court at that very moment. And it was evident in those 2 games in that game against Santa Barbara and against Utah. When we played Utah, the Mont Magic that we were talking about earlier was so evident, and that kind of keeps the players going, even against hard-ranked teams like that. It was over 650 fans in attendance, and the community just really shines through for the Mustangs at these games, and that's what we're hoping to see tonight.
Well, the Mustangs' offense is spectacular. I mean, in terms of the nation, they're top 20 in terms of hitting percentage, and the production has come from so many factors. You see Kendall Bashir, Annabelle Falcon, Emma Frederick, as we just mentioned. It has been the production just coming from all these key players. Chloe LaLuge, another middle blocker, one of the most efficient players in the Big West, has been fantastic for this team. And not only is her presence felt offensively, but defensively as well. She's fantastic.
Yeah, so many of these players are able to have that 6-spot rotation and able to go throughout the whole court without a break and just keep pushing throughout the entirety of the game, like Kendall Bashir, like Emma Frederick. And just seeing that Cal Poly not only has that offense, like we mentioned, that is ranked in the top 20, but they also have the defense in the back row with Aleph Hurriet, London Haberfield. It's just, they have the key components that have made them so successful throughout this season.
Stick with us through the break. You'll hear a little bit more about the title runs that Cal Poly Volleyball was on last year. They went to the Big West Championship and the year prior.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. 2 milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable. The sad reality is,
Fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
Okay, so before we come over, can I ask a few questions?
Yeah, sure.
Do you have any pets?
Yes, we have a dog, but she's little.
Do you have any unlocked guns around the house?
We do have a gun, but it's stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access. I appreciate you asking.
Yeah, of course. So does Friday work?
Sounds good to me.
All right, we'll bring pizza.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy, and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training on a Friday afternoon, and the very next day, he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. You don't know how much somebody can hide what's going on inside their head. Store your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Welcome back to Mustang Game Day. We're kind of going to jump into the last two title runs that the Mustangs have had so far. They've made an appearance in the Big West Championship for the past 2 years, and even after some unfortunate losses in that, the Mustangs still are hungry for that tournament title this year. Dylan, can we kind of talk about how they have made it to the championship for the past 2 years, and they've actually had to face Hawaii both times?
Well, there's no doubt the Mustangs are looking for revenge. Falling to Hawaii in back-to-back title matches is, I mean, it was a rough end to 2 spectacular seasons for the Mustangs. And to drop to Hawaii was tough because they lost Emmy Bullis in that match. And that's one of their premier players. She's a captain of this team. She's a leader vocally, and not having her on that court in the match last year was a key factor as to why they lost. It was a 3-1 loss in the Big West Championships, and you saw Lizzie Markowska have a fantastic game. Brecklin Poling had a fantastic game. Those 2 players are not on this team anymore.
Yeah, we've seen Brecklin unfortunately had to go out with an injury during summer practice, and we've seen Charlotte Kelly step up into her place and has been a phenomenal blocker this season. Being a true freshman, she really stepped into pulling shoes and was able to kind of just take over and has made a name for herself in the Big West, having over 90 blocks this season alone.
She's been fantastic, there's no doubt about it, and Brecklin Poling is out with injury. She is on this team. She suffered that injury earlier in the season, but Markowska not on the Mustangs anymore. The 2 title runs, I mean, to come up so close to a Big West Championship really leaves a poor taste in your mouth if you're Cal Poly, if you're head coach Caroline Walters. But now, I mean, Hawaii's been at the top of the conference for the last couple of years. This season, been a little bit of a different story. They lost some key players. Now they're there at 6th place, so they're coming into this matchup with some ownage on Cal Poly in the postseason, not necessarily in the regular season this year, but I mean, to take them down in the Big West Championships back-to-back years, I mean, Cal Poly's going to want to get after it tonight.
Well, yeah, and last season in the Big West Championship, it was the championship match that Hawaii won over Cal Poly. And watching those press conference interviews afterwards, there was so much emotion from not only Coach Walters, but the players as well, knowing that they were so close to taking that title that they have wanted since the last time they had it in 2018. Just seeing that emotion kind of is one of their kickers in this game. They want to get that best seed like we were talking about earlier, and they want to have the best chance to take this title like they have. They love the regular season, but they want this championship title as much as anybody else.
Well, the roster's been kind of shifting. They now have a sophomore middle blocker in Chloe Leluge, who has been a key part of this team. I got to speak with her earlier this week. All right, I'm here with sophomore middle blocker Chloe Leluge, one of the premier shot blockers in the Big West. Chloe, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, gotta love a Friday, let's go.
You are one of the best shot blockers in the Big West. What's been going so well for you this season?
I don't know, I feel like it's been a super fun season, just gotta shout out to my teammates, they're awesome, and I feel like it's just everything's just so much easier when you have like good passers, good setters, like, and I know everyone's always like, oh, your teammates, but it's like makes such a difference. Like middle blockers' jobs, like my job wouldn't be as easy if it weren't for everybody else. So gotta shout out them, I guess.
I feel like you're always smiling on the court, like your smile never leaves your face. Like, what's so fun for you about playing the middle blocker position and then with this group of girls?
Yeah, I like that question because I really like middle blocker specifically. Like, obviously just love volleyball, you know, like it's just fun to play. Like, I love how it's so dynamic. Like, it's just like you gotta change everything and on the fly. But middle blocker specifically, just because it's like, it's one of those positions where you just have to work. Like it doesn't matter, like you don't have a lot of time to think about what's going on, you know, and I like that because it's just like you just got to be moving, you know. It's like next play, you got to block, you got to hit, and I really like that about it because it doesn't really like give you time to focus on the mistakes or anything because you just got to be ready for whatever's coming next, you know.
You know, tough loss last night. You guys dropped to Santa Barbara 3-2, but now the mindset going into your last home game, you guys are a perfect 14-0. What's the feeling like heading into tomorrow's match against Hawaii?
Yeah, I think it's definitely feeling the pressure, like, but in a good way, you know. Like Caroline always talks about, like, every match is just that Big West championship, you know, like to feel that pressure so that when it's like actually go time, it's like then we're going to be ready, you know. And I think it's just going to be super cool to play for our seniors and play for, you know, an undefeated home streak. It's super cool.
What is so special? I know you've had a year. This is basically you're rounding out your second full year of playing at home in front of the fans at Mott Athletic Center. You know, the term Mott Magic, what is so special for you?
Yes, honestly, yeah, like it's only my second year here, but just like it just has this just like family sort of feel. Like I feel like a lot of, you know, teams might have like a big student section, and like we do get a big crowd sometimes, but there's just like a really great, like, it's like the fans that do come, I feel like just have a lot of just really positive energy, you know. Like you don't get a lot of like heckling or anything. It's just like a lot of just like love for the team, which is just super cool. I think that's what Magic is, you know.
And then to stay loose, you know, you guys are coming up. You're finishing up the regular season. How do you how do you guys stay loose heading into the playoffs?
Yeah, I think we're probably just gonna go in and like, I'm like looking at all our, you know, losses and maybe what we can improve there, just because those are going to be some of our biggest competition. And I think going into the playoffs, it's just going to be like that mindset, just like we still need to get better every day. Like there's still things we can improve on, but also just like a lot of excitement. And I think that'll really help just drive us to that win, you know.
Definitely. Last question for you, Chloe. Ahead of tomorrow's match against Hawaii, what's your pregame meal?
Ooh, pregame meal. Well, I don't know what we're getting tomorrow. I think it's urbane, but me personally, like a routine, or just everybody's meal?
Let's do your personal pregame meal.
Okay. So we're getting urbane tomorrow, but at home, I just like to, you know, make myself a little cup of tea, a little common stress relaxer, or relax from stress. And then I like to mix up some tuna. I put Chick-fil-A sauce in there, you know, makes it real nice, and just tuna with chips, you know, nice protein. And I really like arugula too, so sometimes I'll put some of that on there. And then we get our pregame meal for just the team, and so we'll get urbane tomorrow, which will be great.
I love it. Sounds delicious. That's sophomore middle blocker Chloe Leluge. Back to you guys in the studio.
Always great to hear from Chloe, one of the young stars on this Cal Poly volleyball team. Looking at some of the other young talent, it's Charlotte Kelly, the freshman middle blocker, who's been fantastic for the Mustangs.
Yeah, Charlotte has kind of been Chloe's wing woman this whole season. She's currently 5th in the Big West for hitting percentage at a .320 percentage. And, you know, like we mentioned earlier, she's stepping in for Brecklin, and she has some big shoes to fill, being a true freshman and with Pulling having all the Big West accolades that she had last year.
Yeah, Charlotte Kelly has been amazing coming into a role that she didn't know if she was going to get a lot of playing time in. She's now 2nd on the team in total blocks with 93. She's behind Chloe in total blocks. And to step into a role such as middle blocker, where you have to be really, it's a very fast-paced role. You have to be really good offensively, take your chances when you get them, but then defensively you have to be very locked in. Your footwork has to be very precise. and she's been excellent.
Yeah, she's really stepped up and taken that role by the horns and just been able to execute and really prove herself in the Big West. And another key player has been Emma Frederick, offensively and defensively. You know, she's in the Big West standings in both kills and digs.
Yeah, she leads this team in total kills. She leads this team in kills per set. Emma Frederick is she's a star. She's extremely athletic. You watch her out on the court. I mean, she is just rising above a lot of these players. She's a very, very talented hitter, and she has come into this role after not playing a lot in her past season. She didn't play a lot last year. Now she's playing in every set, and she is a very strong attacker.
Yeah, and she's also very smart at the net when it comes to adjusting to the set. If you see that a set is a little high, she's going up, and she knows that she can't take that full swing. So she's either doing a roll shot or she's doing a tip, and she's able to make those adjustments really quickly, which sets her apart in the Big West Conference.
Absolutely. And another key player for the Mustangs, it's Kendall Bashir, another sophomore on this team. This young core, very prominent, but Kendall, second in the Big West in service aces, but the other side of that, the other side of this coin, she's high up there in the conference in service errors as well. Her serve is it is a rocket.
Wicked serve. I'm running from it if I see it.
No kidding. Kendall, fantastic. Also very athletic. She's averaging 3.2 kills per set. She is one of these young players that have stepped into a role after coming in as a freshman. She played a lot last year.
Yeah, Kendall has definitely been a standout on the team this season, being a sixth rotation player who plays all around the court all the time and really just showing her skills both offensively and defensively, and like Emma Frederick, very smart at the net, placing it where she knows the other team's defense isn't.
Absolutely. Stick with us through the break on Mustang Game Day as we get you prepared for everything you need to know ahead of Cal Poly Women's Volleyball versus Hawaii at 6 p.m.
I tell my son, I love you every single day. Now, my dad has never said that to me. Not because he doesn't love me, but because culturally it wasn't comfortable for him. Now that he's a grandfather, he says, I love you to my son every time he sees him. My advice to all the fathers out there, forget the cultural restrictions. They grow up way too fast for you to waste even a single precious moment.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome back to Mustang Game Day. We're going to take a look at redshirt senior setter Emmy Bullis, who has been a key player for the Mustangs this season. I had the chance to speak with her a couple days ago and kind of talk about how the season's going and what it's like being a senior on this team. I'm here with redshirt senior setter Emmy Bullis. Emmy, how are you feeling?
I'm good. Tired, but doing good.
Good. And how are you feeling going into tomorrow night's match, knowing that it's not only the last home game of the season, but it's your last home game as a Mustang?
Yeah, it's sad for sure, but I mean, Ma has always treated me so well, and I'm so thankful that I've had my time here. So just soaking it up for the last time, but excited.
Awesome. And then how does it feel knowing that you're playing Hawaii and it's kind of a full circle moment, because your freshman season you guys lost both games to Hawaii, and being able to come out and beat them for the second time this season, how does that feel knowing that's a possibility?
Yeah, it's exciting. Hawaii's always been a great team. They have great coaches. They have great players. But it just shows how much we've grown as a team and that sort of thing. So it's been, like you said, full circle to be able to come out and, hopefully get another win against them and beat them both times this year.
Awesome. And then kind of touching more on your Cal Poly career, can you kind of describe the moment in the UC San Diego game last weekend when you found out that you were the 4th Mustang to achieve 4,000 career assists?
Yeah, I honestly didn't know. I was sitting on the bench. They had called the timeout, and I don't really listen to the outside noise and that sort of thing, so I didn't hear what the announcer had said. And Caroline said something to me, but I was like, what? I literally turned to her and go, what? She's like, never mind. And then I found out after. But I mean, it's just cool to be in that position. But I'm in that position because of my teammates, my coaches, and I've just been able to go out and play my hardest and that sort of thing. So as much as it's cool to be one of 4 Mustangs, I mean, it's what my team has done for me as well and these coaches. So.
Awesome. And then speaking of the team, how do you feel that you guys have kind of grown throughout the season, having such a historic season?
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool to see because we're not always just worried about winning the Big West or that sort of thing. That's our goal, but it's our goal is to be playing the best volleyball that we can at the end of the season at the Big West tournament. So it's just cool to see our growth weekly on just really small things, to be able to just go win out a few more points and continue to build those up to hopefully win that championship Big West. So yeah.
For sure. And then last night was kind of a tougher loss, but you had a career high amount of 60 assists. How do you kind of keep going in the games even when you know that you guys are down?
Yeah, I mean, it felt like our offense was clicking really well. We just were trying to, their offense was doing really well and our defense couldn't really stop them as much as we were hoping. But I think it's just so natural for us to feel like we're clicking offensively, especially just for me because I am the leader of the offense. So I mean, it just felt really natural. It wasn't that sort of thing, but definitely defensively we were just trying to upgrade and get some more points from there. So.
For sure. And then how have your teammates kind of impacted you throughout your whole entire career at Cal Poly? Because you speak about them a lot when talking about your accolades. So how have they kind of added to that experience?
Yeah, I mean, I look at people who were seniors when I was a freshman or that sort of thing, and just my time that I've grown. Not only Maya and Meredith when I was freshmen, they taught me how to be a great leader on the court, but also just to have such a burning passion for volleyball and that sort of thing. So I just look at them not only as players who are there to support me, because if it wasn't for my hitters getting kills, I wouldn't have that many assists, right? So that's obviously very clear, but just being able to be a leader on the court and be able to grow throughout my time here. But like I said, I wouldn't be where I'm at without the digs that I'm getting, without the kills that I'm getting from my hitters and that sort of thing. So.
Yeah. Awesome. And then kind of on a fun note, what are you looking forward to most tomorrow night?
I'm looking forward to having my family here. My parents just got in, and it's just really special to be able to be here with my parents on my senior night and see how far I've come. So, yeah.
Awesome. And then what kind of mindset do you have going into the rest of the postseason after tomorrow's game?
Yeah, I mean, just go out all out, right? This is the time to do it. It's time to feel the pressure. It's time to go out and execute the best that we have, because we deserve to be in the Big West tournament, obviously, because we've earned that. But it's our time to go take that. So, yeah.
Awesome. And then kind of speaking about the Big West tournament, it lands on Thanksgiving week almost every year. How do you guys kind of manage playing and being away from your families during the holiday?
Yeah, my parents will be in, Long Beach? Long Beach. So my parents will be there. It's hard, I don't get to see my extended family, but that's just part of the sacrifice. There's so many things that we sacrifice being D1 athletes, and that's just part of it. I mean, it's hard, but it is what it is. You can't complain about it. It's just the way that it is, right? So just taking it as an opportunity to get to be with my second family, my best friends, my coaches, that sort of thing. So yeah, it's tough being away from family, but it is what it is, and just go out and play hard, and we get the chance to be there, so we're thankful. Yeah.
Awesome. And then kind of wrapping it up, if you could choose one word to describe your whole Cal Poly volleyball experience, what would that word be?
Ooh. I don't even know what I don't know what I would say. I think
I don't know. I think I would say love. I love this program. I love my teammates. I love my coaches. I love getting to compete. Just all around, like, it's been such a great experience to be here and be able to be here for 5 years. So I've loved every minute of it, the hard times, the good times, that sort of thing. So I would say love, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you. That was redshirt senior setter Emmy Bullis, and we're excited to see what happens in this match. Back to the studio. We always love talking to Emmy Bullis and hearing about her story. Stay tuned. After the break, we're going to talk more about the pivotal issue or things that are happening in this game.
We are taught you don't talk about your problems with nobody because you could get in trouble. And I've been through a lot. Anxiety, depression, sexual assault. When I decided to get help, my life changed. In the mental health box, that was one of the big tools. Accepting help means that we're allowing somebody to bless our life. It's freeing. We got stronger together. Love your mind.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We can't play about our future or our finances. Make moves, set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up, stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things. This is pre-tirement.
Life's daily battles are not meant to be fought alone.
We're not powerless, so long as we don't lose sight of what's important.
Don't be afraid to seize that moment to talk to your friends.
Cloud, you okay?
Because checking in on a friend can create a safe space.
The first step on our new journey. You coming?
Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Seize the opportunity.
Doing this, yeah.
It's totally worth it.
Welcome back to Mustang Game Day. My name is Dylan Allen. This is my co-host Samantha Roach. And Cal Poly Women's Volleyball is set to take on Hawaii at 6 p.m. We've got a sideline reporter. It's Ali Tafesh with one of the announcers for tonight's match. Ali, can you hear us?
Thank you, Dylan. I'm here today with play-by-play announcer
Ryan Giacomini.
And today I got a few questions for Ryan. So, first of all, what is it like to be able to call these games? Like, what are the emotions that run through your head when, like, you know, doing the calls for these games, especially volleyball?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun. Volleyball is a fast-paced, high-action game, so it's a lot of fun to get to sit there and watch this team and get to essentially just talk about the volleyball team, especially with how much success they're having. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm getting to do it with a lot of other students on campus too. So it's fun just building up that professional side and then getting to have some fun too.
For sure, yeah. And as we know, you're now a fourth year, so we're coming to the end of your college play-by-play announcing career. So how do you feel, like, you know, as this might be your last volleyball game?
Yeah, I mean, this is my last volleyball game, at least as a student. But, you know, I'm just excited for what's to come in my career. This is what I want to do post-grad. So whether it's volleyball or another sport, like, I'm just excited for whatever opportunity comes my way.
And as you say that, you do want to do this post-grad. So what are, like, the corrections you make when you slip up live on air? Like, how do you bounce back from, you know, a missed call or anything along those lines?
Yeah, a lot of it is just understanding that you're going to make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, even at the highest level, and just correcting yourself in the moment as quickly as you can. Try not to slip up as much as possible, but really it starts with being just as prepared as possible for the game. You know, I do hours of prep for every team that comes into this building, so just knowing as much as I can about the players, who they are, how they've played this year and stuff like that allows me to try to be on top of my game.
For sure, yeah. And through all these hours and all the preparation you've done in these last 4 years, what has been your favorite game to call?
Ooh, that's a really good one. The St. Mary's game earlier this year was a really fun one because Cal Poly went down 2-0 and then came back and won. The Santa Barbara game was also a lot of fun. There's a lot of good memories that I make. I think tonight will be a really fun one. Hawaii always gets a really good turnout. Honestly, one thing a lot of people probably don't take into consideration with broadcasting is how much the fans bring to broadcasting. If they're lively and active and there's a lot of them, it makes it so much more fun for us.
Awesome. And before we finish off this interview, what piece of advice do you have for any kid who's looking to get into broadcasting in the future? Like, what should they know?
Yeah, I would say just be yourself. Don't go out there, don't try to put on a voice. Just be yourself, talk like you normally would. Just act like you're having a conversation with the other commentator with you.
For sure. Awesome. Thank you so much, Ryan. That'll be a wrap on our interview. Thank you.
Thank you, Ali. Always great to hear from a broadcaster, a fellow student, someone who's been around the team this entire season. Ryan Giacomini, ESPN Plus. You can catch him on the call at 6 p.m. with Max Kelton calling the game against Hawaii. And Sam, across this week, I got a chance to talk to some of the seniors on this team, not only Emmy Bullis, but Brooklyn Burns as well, and kind of got to talk to them about reflecting on their 4-year career here at Cal Poly.
As Cal Poly Volleyball finishes their 2025 regular season, it will mark the end of an era for 4 seniors on the team. Emmy Bullis, Brooklyn Burns, Annabelle Falcon, and London Haberfield. All will be graduating and entering the next chapter of their lives.
So it's sad, it's really sad, but like I know that this place will always be something so special to me.
One of the best players in program history, Bullis has been a Mustang since 2021. She came all the way from Whitewater, Wisconsin, and after redshirting her freshman year, she's been the starting setter since 2022.
I don't know, I've put everything into this program. Like, I have been here for 5 years. Like, I've absolutely loved it through and
For head coach Caroline Walters, she knows this is a special group of seniors that's leaving the program.
Yeah, this group of 4 kids is extremely special. You try not to have favorites as you coach, you know, but this senior class will go down as one of my favorite senior classes ever.
When the team showed up in August to begin their preseason training, they were ready to roll. Walters said this was a testament to the work put in personally, a tone demanded by the seniors.
They decide when to come back in June or July, and they start practicing, and we get our hands on them in August. And I'd say this August, this preseason, the group that we got our hands on was the most polished that we've had, you know, with these newcomers coming in. And that, again, speaks a lot about this group of seniors.
Besides Bullis, outside hitter Annabelle Falcon has been at Cal Poly since 2021, as she redshirted in 2022. Since arriving from Sacramento, California, Falcon has been a key part of the offense every year. Although Falcon and Bullis have been at Cal Poly since 2021, Brooklyn Burns and libero London Haberfield have not. They both arrived in 2022, but will be graduating at the same time. Burns and Haberfield both grew up in the San Diego area, where they knew about each other on rival club teams. When London came to Cal Poly, she got to play with her older sister Layla during her freshman year.
And then London Haberfield has just been so consistently good for us over 4 years, and thinking about like her playing with her sister Layla for the first few was just so special.
Now, Haberfield and Burns are stepping away from a group they've been able to call their family for the last 4 years.
And I think a lot of programs can't say that. A lot of volleyball teams can't say that about their program. Like, I truly view this as my second family and my home away from home, and it's become that for me in this 4 years.
For Burns, she wants the younger players of the program to know they can call her anytime to ask for help.
You have my number at any time, any day. Like I'm going to be in your family for life, you know? And so I want them to know that, like, they just have like this huge family around them and this support system that'll get them through college, and then we'll continue after.
Wins and losses might stay on the score sheet, but Bullis knows the lasting impact comes from being good people off the court, and that's what the seniors have been preaching.
Being able to pride myself in like this program, we can win and lose games and that sort of thing, but just like the people that we are, like we can really pride ourselves on like being a great teammate, being a great person outside of volleyball.
And the message to the younger players as they leave, go be great.
This is like your guys' time. Like, this is your time to like go be the greatest you can be for our program. Like, this is what like we've built for whatever 5 years.
Cal Poly Volleyball's 4 seniors will look to make a run at the Big West Championships with 3 games remaining after their final home match of their careers at Mott Athletic Center versus Hawaii.
It's going to be a kind of turning of the tide for Cal Poly Women's Volleyball. As you start to look at next year, they're going to lose Emmy Bullis, they're going to lose Annabelle Falcon, and then losing Brooklyn Burns and London Haberfield as well is going to be a big loss for this team. They're going to have to fill those holes. Brooklyn Burns, such a special part of this team. She was diagnosed with childhood cancer earlier in her life, and then to be around this team and turn it into a coaching role, it's been so special to watch.
Yeah, even after Burns' tough decision to medically retire, she still made it a point that she wanted to be a part of this team as much as she could, and the coaches told her that no matter what happens with your diagnosis, you are a part of this team. And she's really taken that to heart, stepping up, being like a coach, always shagging the balls when needed during the games, just putting herself in any position that she can to help the team. And it's been really evident that she has made such a personal connection with not only her teammates, but her coaches as well, with Caroline Walters and just everybody that has affected her on this team is such a pivotal piece of her life.
And it keeps everyone, I think, it gives everyone a sense of perspective. Brooklyn's been through so much, and to still come out every day and show up to practice, you know, they're all tired, they're going through a long season, but Brooklyn shows up, she's always helping, she's always giving advice. It's just awesome to see her out there, and the fact that she's stuck with the team is really a testament to her character. And the coaching of this team is amazing.
Yeah, she has just been a pivotal piece of this team. And stick with us. After the break, we're going to look at playoff pitchers and key parts of this match.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Welcome back to Mustang GameDay as we get you ready for Cal Poly Women's Volleyball taking on Hawaii. Cal Poly is currently the #2 seed in the Big West Conference. Hawaii, the #6 seed. Sam, it's a 16 playoff format. Cal Poly has 2 more games remaining. That'll be on the road next week. Tonight is their final home match of the season. They're looking to cap off a perfect undefeated home record. They've only done that 3 times before in program history. It would be 15-0 at home if they were able to secure the win tonight. And they have clinched an automatic berth into the conference postseason tournament, but their spot is not known at the moment.
Yeah, and like you said, they did clinch that postseason spot, but getting that top 1 or 2 seed would allow them to have a bye that would really benefit them. And this game is pivotal for both Cal Poly and Hawaii because Hawaii is trying to get into that playoff spot. This game could be one of the determining factors that determines if they see that playoff tournament or not.
Yeah, no doubt. Hawaii's looking to get in. I mean, they went to the title game 2 years in a row, and now they're on the end still, but there's a lot of teams that are right on their heels, and Hawaii is in that 6th, that final spot in the Big West Championships. Tonight is a big match for them on the road. Cal Poly, as you said, Sam, the top 2 teams get a bye, so for the Mustangs, getting a bye would be huge. They get to rest a little bit, they get to see their opponent play. Long Beach State will be hosting the Big West Championships. And they have a lot of experience in there, but they do have a younger team. It's a very this team is very balanced in terms of veterans, in terms of the younger players, Chloe LaLuge and Charlotte Kelly. But to get in with the experience they have and give their younger players a bit of a chance to see the tournament with a bye would be huge.
Definitely, and we've kind of touched a bit on the offense that this season has had, but their defense is also stellar. Going into this Big West tournament, defense is going to be a big part of it because they're going to be up against hitters from Davis and teams that have had a high hitting percentage, just like Cal Poly. So our back row, like Aleph Hurriet, London Haberfield, are going to be pivotal in this match today and going into the postseason.
There's no doubt about it. The Big West has some premier hitters, especially on UC Davis. We saw that in their match when they came into Mott Athletic Center. But the Cal Poly defense really shut them down. I mean, Charlotte Kelly and Chloe Lelouge are so strong in that middle blocker position, and it's a testament to Coach Caroline Walters, who does a fantastic job of rotating her players and making key changes when they need to. One of the things I can point to is the rotations at libero. Ella Scott got the starting job at the beginning of the season, and then Aleph Hurriet and London Haberfield began rotating in. Let's take a look at one of the keys for tonight's matchup, as Cal Poly is going to be matching up with Hawaii. The first thing we're looking at is strong serving. Cal Poly's got to start strong on the service line. This is something they struggle with at times, but they do have some really strong servers.
They do, and like you mentioned, Ella Scott had that starting libero position until Aleph Hurriet took it over, but Ella Scott still has a pivotal role on this team as she comes in as a server a lot of the times and is put on that back line in these crucial scenarios. So this strong serving definitely is going to be one of the biggest parts of this match, because we've seen it happen a lot of times where Cal Poly's set losses are because of their service errors. So seeing how the serving is going to play out this match is going to be pivotal for the Mustangs.
Yeah, you take a look at one of their best servers. It's Kendall Bashir. She lives and dies by a very strong shot. But then taking a look at the second key for tonight's matchup, we like to call it the back row bonanza. You always see the back line for Cal Poly kind of going crazy. We've seen some insane rallies this season. The back row, as we talked about, Aleph in London, the defensive specialists for this team, fantastic in terms of digs.
Yeah, and we've also had those front row players like Kendall Bashir and Emma Frederick step up in the back row, going through that 6-player rotation and getting on the Big West stats for digs while also being an amazing hitter. So I think having that balance between great hitters, great back row players, and overall players has really been helped Cal Poly be so successful this season.
Well, their players are so efficient on both sides, offensively and defensively. I mean, one of the younger players, Chloe Lelouge, when you want to talk about efficiency, she is one of the most efficient players, not only in the conference, but in the country. I mean, her hitting percentage is now a program high for Cal Poly.
Yeah, she has taken over the Division I program spot for hitting percentage with a .367 percentage, which is phenomenal, being that she is such a young player and has only had experience for 2 years.
Yeah, the third key for tonight's matchup is going to be the outside hitters. You got to let the outside hitters go to work. We've got to see Annabelle Falcon get her action in. Emma Frederick, another, we talked about her all night long, but she's got to be efficient. She does, in terms of hitting percentage, she can be a little inefficient, but if she can get to work and find some holes in this defense, it's going to be a long night for Hawaii.
Yeah, and these outside hitters, aside from Annabelle Falcon, are a little bit on the smaller side, which has, been a disadvantage for them, as we've seen with Emma Frederick. Some of her inefficiency comes from her height and having those taller blockers on the other side of the net, yet they still perform just as well as some of those 6'3", 6'2" players, despite being on that 5'10", 5'11" height range.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And the other hitters on this team are so fantastic, Kendall Bashir. But it's a season that's been really fantastic for Cal Poly. They're looking to capture their 15th home win of the season. This has been Mustang Game Day. We want to thank everyone who's been a part of it, all the sideline reporters, and everyone on the Cal Poly women's volleyball team. My name is Dylan Allen. This is Samantha Roach alongside me. Cal Poly women's volleyball taking on Hawaii at 6 p.m., just about 30 minutes. Tune in on ESPN Plus for all the action.